want to tell you about an unknown scandal. This just shocked me as I became acquainted myself. Paul here is reporting that they preach Christ of unworthy motives. Okay, jealousy, strife, and partisanship. No surprise. But did you realize that Paul very likely lost his life as a result of the trouble caused by the troublemaking Christians in Rome? That amazed me to find that out. The information that exists from the early church about the events that led up to the death of Paul points to this conclusion. Envy led some Christians to denounce Paul, and as a result of their denunciation, Paul and perhaps others also were presumably executed under Nero. 3 key points. First, that we noted that when Onesiphorus arrived in Rome, no one seemed to be able to tell him where Paul was. That was in 2 Timothy 1, deals with that. Then Paul began to make converts through the Praetorian Guard. His views spread through Rome, provoking jealousy among the leaders of the Roman congregation. And Paul alludes to that both here in this letter and in his second letter to Timothy, by the way. Second point, Suetonius, a Roman historian who wrote the lives of the Caesars, tells us that, quote, since the Jews constantly made disturbances at the instigation of Croesus, that was his term for Christ, thinking that Christ was the ringleader, Claudius expelled them from Rome. This expulsion of both Christians and Jews is alluded to in Acts 18. Third point, a Roman Christian by the name of Clement wrote a letter to the believers in Corinth about 90 AD, and in chapters 3 to 6 in his letter, he warns the Corinthians about the bad effects of jealousy which had resulted in suffering and death among God's people. He alludes to 7 examples from the Old Testament and 7 from more recent times, including Paul in 1 Clement 5. Well, we shouldn't be surprised. Jesus warned his disciples that they would betray one another. And in Matthew 24, verse 10.